and welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily and this is the Astral Library. We have another challenge vlog for us all, but it's actually part of another video that I put out, which is my ticking time bomb TBR. If you want to check that video out, you can go do so in the corner. I'll link it. But in that video, I mentioned that one of the books I was gonna read is actually a whole series, and I was thinking of doing a series vlog, and well, here it is. We have a week to read an entire series, and it's already Wednesday, so we're not doing great. But the series is The Song of the Lioness by Tamora Pierce, the first book being Alana. Now, this is a series that I really loved as a kid. I read the first book and I was super into it, but I never continued on with it. And Tamora Pierce is just one of those writers that I love so much. So I'm so happy to be diving back into her world. And it is a 4-book series. So we have all 4 books here, you can see. It is Alana, the First Adventure, In the Hands of the Goddess, The Woman Who Rides Like a Man, and Lioness Rampant. So they're all decently short and they have pretty big text in them. So we're gonna be blowing through this series, hopefully by the end of this week. I did read a little bit on sprints on Tuesday, so I've already made progress on the first book. I am this far into it. I am pretty sure I can blow through the rest of this tonight, as well as perhaps start the other one. I am very lucky in that it is finals right now and all my final gradings already done. So I just have so much time to read, and I'm going to do all the reading. But I need to introduce this vlog so we can officially get started, and I'm so excited. And since I've already read the first chunk of this first book, it's just reminding me of this world and of this author, and it's making me giddy like a kid, because Tamora Pierce was just that author that really got me into fantasy and was a major blueprint for like the type of fantasy I enjoy now as a 30-year-old woman. So I'm very excited to get back to this and to finish it for the first time. So let's go ahead and just dive straight in. I'm coming at you with an update. I have finally finished Alana, the First Adventure. I have to say, I remembered nothing of what happened in this book other than like the basic premise, which I'm realizing I never told you. In this book, we're following Alana, who is a twin, and she and her brother are about to be sent off to essentially kind of like go into their past in life. Alana always wanted to be a knight or a warrior, and her brother always wanted to study magic, but their father like won't listen to it, and then essentially her brother Tom gonna be sent to the palace to be trained as a knight, and she was gonna go into the convent to kind of like learn religion and magic. Well, Alana comes up with the brilliant idea that because they look so much alike that they could switch places, and she in fact can go to the palace and train to be a warrior and essentially keep her gender hidden. And so through this first book, we're following her first few years, like going through this, becoming a squire, getting close to a few of the boys, namely the prince to the empire. Of course, this vlog spoilers because it's a whole series vlog, so fair warning now. Reading through this book, first, it was really nice to kind of like see the moments, but also that it's so fast paced that we're not getting like dragged down. Like it's definitely a younger version of The Assassin's Apprentice, in which like we're getting to see a character like really go through the different like stages of their life. I think we're gonna be following Alana for quite some time. I don't know how old she is going to get. If it's anything like the Becca Cooper series, we're definitely gonna be following her into at least early adulthood. It's very fast paced, so we're like moving through months at a time pretty quickly. Because Alana is not only like a skilled warrior, but she also has this like healing gift and like magical gift that is like becoming more and more of like an important factor. Like we see her not only like getting drawn to these mysteries and to being connected with people, but that there's like echoes of the gods like having some sort of plan for her. And not only her, but her friend Jonathan, the heir to the kingdom. And where we ended the book is that they entered the Black City, which is this kind of like cursed mystical city in the desert, and there they encountered, I don't want to say demons because they called themselves immortal ones, but they're kind of like these immortal beings that were set against the gods that Alana and Jonathan kind of like believe in and like are seemingly tied in terms of their destiny. It was very interesting. I'm curious to see where the series is going to go, because we really didn't learn, or we only learned enough to kind of like deepen the mystery. Like obviously the gods have something planned with Alana. She is not only able to connect to these like deeper powers, but she is being drawn to other people and being drawn to like mystical items. Like she finds her sword lightning in this like weird tomb thing. And the uncle Jonathan's uncle, I think his name's Duke Rogers, man's sus. And Alana like hates him, but she doesn't know why. So obviously that's some sort of instinct. So there's a lot of things happening. Tamora Pierce is like known for like having these like really rich worlds, and just like getting to dive back into it for the first time is really fun. And getting to dive back into it again is really fun, especially because reading this felt like the first time because it's been so long since I've read the first book. So I'm excited to continue and see where it's going to go. I will probably pick up the second book tonight. I do have to go pick up dinner because I'm going to eat with my mom, so that will probably wait till later tonight. But I did want to make sure I was updating you guys before then. But I gotta go. The timer literally went off that told me I need to go pick up the food now. So I will catch you later when we're starting book 2 in this series. Hello and good morning. I'm coming at you with an update because I've been reading the second book in the Song of the Lioness series. So this is In the Hands of the Goddess, and I'm this far into it. I'm over the halfway point, and I needed to update you now, otherwise I was not going to update you. I'm liking this one a lot more because I think now that we've Winnie is losing her shit because she's locked outside. Now that we've established a world, we're able to kind of like dive into more of the mysteries and the relationship. This one in particular, we're seeing a lot of the romances starting to kind of bubble up. So we have 2 love interests. We have Gary and we have Jonathan. And I always knew Jonathan was gonna be love interest, okay? Like I clocked that shit from the moment we met him and he like said hello. I was like, love interest. I am surprised about Gary just because since he's like the king of the thieves, he's always been this like older figure in my mind. So I'm like I know Tamora Pierce doesn't shy away from like an older love interest, but I don't know. I don't know how much older he is than Alana. So I'm like, I always read it more as like a big brother type of situation, but it is, I'm not gonna lie, their moments were kind of cute. And I was like, okay, Gary, I get it. Or no, not Gary, George. Gary's another person in the book, one of her friends. But yeah, I don't know, George, it is cute, but also where I'm at right now, Jonathan, where they just had their first kiss, and now Jonathan's kind of like blowing hot and cold because he's a teenage boy and he doesn't know how to do emotions and feelings. Not that Alana's any much better. I will say, I do appreciate that in this book pretty early on, we just like establish Roger as a villain. Like we get a whole chapter like titled his name, and then he's like, I'm trying to kill the prince. I'm responsible behind everything. Like, okay. Book 2, like second chapter in, right off the bat. Cool. Glad we've confirmed that you are in fact the villain. It's a little silly, but this is like, again, middle grade to like younger YA, so I get it. We're not going for subterfuge, really. We're getting kind of everyone's thoughts and feelings in this, which is nice and fun. It means we can really just focus on our characters and we don't have to like spend too much time trying to figure out like those extra bits. We still have the mystery of like what it is the gods haven't planned for Alana, which especially in this one, like we get to meet the goddess, and that was interesting, if not obviously cryptic. First off, she's like, you don't know how you feel about love, so like don't count it out, because Alana's like, I'm not ever getting married. Well, the romance is brewing, so we'll have to see who she ends up with. My guess, it's gonna be Jonathan. It's something about her relationship specifically with the prince that I think is just gonna be more developed. I think they're too intrinsically tied to each other for it not to end up that way. I do not think that discounts George as being like a romantic figure. I think we might get a romance with George still, but I do think we're gonna end up with Jonathan. That's my predictions right now. But I've been blowing through these books. I literally had to stop myself last night from reading this entire book. I was like, I'm just gonna read 100 pages, like wait, just one more chapter. And I was like, no, for realsies, I had to put this down because I will finish this book and not say a word to you, because that's just how it's been so far. And honestly, I have that much left and I really want to finish it. I have work later today. I have to go into work earlier than usual, so I don't have too much time left. About like an hour and a half before I have to head out. I think I'm going to try to smash this in that time. I don't think it'll be hard at all. Like I said, I've been flying through this book. I've been having to stop myself and make sure I'm updating you, but I'm gonna be continuing this because I'm having so much fun with it. It's so nice to go back to like something like you in a world and a writing, like an author you've like always loved. Like that's Tamora Pierce for me. Like she's always been that author, and like it's been a long time since I've read any of her books, and it's so nice to return to it. And I'm very curious to see where we're gonna go, because I think Alana's secret's gonna get found out in this book. Like we're just getting too many close calls. More and more people are finding out, and it's just becoming too big of a secret to hide. I don't know if we're going to get to where she wants, like, because she wants to reveal her secret after she becomes a knight, which is like when she's 18, but she's 15 or 16 right now, I think. So we have a couple years out, and as fast as this book moves, I don't know if we're gonna get 2 years in this last little chunk. We'll have to see, of course, but I want to read more of this. I'm going to continue on. I will update you when I probably finish this book, perhaps before I leave for work. That's the plan. I'm gonna get to reading. I'll see you guys later. Coming at you with another update that I have finished, In the Hands of the Goddess. So, couple things. I ended up finishing this yesterday. I would say like an hour or so after I had updated you, but I did not in fact finish updating you because I got busy with the day. But I did finish this, and I like this a lot more than the first one because we got a lot more world building and character development. And this did actually end with her doing her ordeal and all of that. I'm actually a little surprised that we saw the fall of Roger in this one. It just seemed like he was set up to be like this really big antagonist. I'm just a little confused as to why we got rid of him so fast, but c'est la vie, I guess. I am recanting some of my statements. I don't think we're gonna end with Jonathan. We got some Jonathan in this, and they were really cute, but they got together too fast, and she started giving me these lines that, you know, once you say them, just cements like, you're not the forever love. Like, it was something along the lines of like Jonathan falling in love with her as soon as she started dressing as a girl because she wanted to like learn how to be a woman, but George said that he would love her before he ever saw her in girls' clothing. So, yep. Sink my ship right through the fucking floor. Some of you who've already read this, I know you were just laughing at me. Well, boo, you stink! Here it is. Laugh away. I was wrong. In any other story, I'd be right. I've been reading a lot of webtoons, and the prince is usually the winner, so I allow that to color my judgment. But we are not getting Jonathan, even though I still think the relationship was really, really cute. I'm excited to see how the George moments developed because I found Jonathan real cute. And even the little spicy moments we got with George were also just like very good, which I should have known. I didn't remember this because it's been so long since I've read Tamora Pierce, specifically the Becca Cooper series, but she is definitely an author who portrays realistic romantic relationships, meaning that not only is there more than one romance, but it's very realistic in like how they approach romance and like who they end up with. The battery's dying, so I gotta be quick with this. I finished this. I am starting the next one, which is The Woman Who Rides Like a Man. I don't know how much I'm going to get into this one because from the synopsis of alone and where this book ended, essentially Alana kills Duke Roger in combat, totally legal and fine. But she's like, hey, cool, I'm gonna go have an adventure so I can get some of this heat off of me and people aren't looking at me weird. And so this is kind of like her side adventure book where we're going back to the desert city that we went to in book 1, like for a very hot second. It's gonna be an adventure surrounding them. Like I said, I don't know how much I'm gonna get into this one because I don't know how much I love the whole idea of a whole book being a side adventure and how much it's actually going to pertain to what's happening. But I'm gonna read it regardless. And I'm very much looking forward to the last book, which we're going back to the capital and back with all our friends. I got a little bit spoiled for me, just a teeny little bit, but I think something terrible is gonna happen and it's gonna rip my heart out. I cut myself off before I can get too spoiled. There's that. But I'm not gonna read this right now. I'm currently watching Veronica Mars because I've been super into that. And I'm gonna continue doing that, and I will pick this up later tonight and probably smash through a large portion of it and then dedicate tomorrow or so, the last few days, to finishing out this vlog. I will probably post it a little bit later in the week than on Monday and just worry about getting it done and getting these books finished. But I've been flying through them really, really fast. Like, I could read a book a day easy. I just have not had the time, but now I have the time to do so. We will have to see. That's all my update for now. I'm going to swap batteries and then I will catch you when I have gotten more into this one. I've literally just put my bookmark into chapter 1. Coming at you with a stupidly late update. It is 5:13, so just shy of 5:30. I've done 0 reading today, but I stayed up late last night and I did in fact finish The Woman Who Rides Like a Man. I have to say, this was definitely my least favorite entry in the series. Going into it, I knew it was gonna be because it was kind of like a side adventure, but it really felt like it. And I looked up some reviews and this is a pretty general consensus that folks have for this, because not only is it a lot slower, like we go over maybe a few months in this book, rather in the other books we go through like years. So that's a different pacing. I feel like what we gain in terms of characterization was a lot of like stepping back certain things, but also maturing some things. Like the way the relationship with Jonathan tanked. So hard, so fast. Like we get the really kind of like tearful goodbye, and which is like the doom of all relationships, right? The tearful goodbye, and then they get reunited because Bazir people, I don't know if I've talked about them before. We've encountered them in the end of the first book, the kind of like desert region and tribes people. Well, Alana goes there because she's trying to get away and just experience new things. Well, she ends up getting roped into the Bazir, a tribe of the Bazir people. She essentially kind of like fights her way in, becomes a member, and then actually ends up being the shaman because the shaman tries to kill her, and so many things. So she's like kind of like getting introduced to this new culture, but also like adding some changes, like where women are being able to have like more powerful roles. She's taken on 3 apprentices, all of that. Right? One of the kind of, they call them the voices, but I think it's more like a prophet. One of the prophets of the tribe is like, hey, I want Jonathan to become a prophet for our tribe so he can kind of like mend the bridge between the two peoples. Because technically the Bazir people are under the kingdom, but they're not super governed under them, and there's actually a lot of conflicts. So if Jonathan becomes kind of like this prophet or the voice, he'll able to kind of like mend those bridges a little bit, and the prophet's like, I foresee it as like being really important. So he comes and Alana and him are reunited. Jonathan is feeling like one type of way and he wants to marry Alana, but Alana's still like, I don't know who I am. I want to figure out who I am. And it adds a lot of tension to the relationship, and it sours very, very, very quickly in a believable way. But also it feels like we lose like that entire relationship and like friendship that was built between Jonathan and Alana in the first 2 books, and this one it kind of like all disappears. He's all of a sudden like, you have to be a woman, you have to be my wife, and have to have my children, which in a sense is realistic because he is a noble and he has those expectations. But the way it's delivered and the way that we sour that relationship so fast did not feel super genuine in terms of like what we've actually seen of the relationship. I don't think it's unrealistic because like first romances never really last, and that's something I think Tamora Pierce normally does a really good job with. But this one, it felt right. It felt like we were just trying to kill off Jonathan so we can go to our other romantic interest, George, who we do get a little bit in this as well. Like towards the end, we see a little bit of him and Alana's relationship. They get together kind of sort of like rebound, but they're also separated by the end of this book as she's continuing to be restless and like going out and doing adventures. We also have like a weird, interesting side plot with Tom, her brother, and he was doing some like weird magical spell that like drained a lot of magic from Alana and like seemingly create a lot of rift between other magicians in the capital. And Alana keeps getting dreams of Roger being brought back from life. And we got hints at Tom's maybe doing necromancy magic, which has never been done before really. And so I'm like, is Tom gonna be the bad guy in the last book? And it feels like that's what we're setting up. Like there's a moment with George where he says that he calls Tom a monster. He also says if Alana had made no friends, only enemies, and like closed off a relationship, she would be Tom. It almost feels like that we're going to get conflict with Tom. I hope it doesn't, but I'm fine with getting conflict with him. I hope it doesn't end with Alana having to turn against her brother. I just feel like that would be really sad and we wouldn't need that, but We only have one more book left. We just have Lioness Rampant. It's the longest one of the bunch. Like comparatively, you can see like this one's pretty much chunky, and then we'll be done, guys. We will be finished. I'm still pretty much on track. I would like to finish this book today, but because it is definitely the longest of the bunch, I might have to take a little bit longer, so we might push this video out, not necessarily a full week, but I definitely think later in the week, which is fine because I have more free time to edit and get this done. But I am going to try to read as much of this as I can today. I know it's pretty late in the day, like I said, it's almost 5:30, but I do plan to make headway into this, and then we will see where it's gonna go and how it's going to develop. I think it'll be fun. I'm really curious to see how the series is going to close, because this is the end of Alana's journey. There is a sequel series to this where it's following her children. One series is following her children. I think there's another that's following more of her descendants. I don't know. Tamora Pierce like interweaves a lot of her works. Actually, I learned that series I started reading with Tamora Pierce, the Becca Cooper series, is a prequel to all of this, though it was published way later. And George Cooper is actually a descendant of Becca, which I think's fun and nice to kind of like have that little tie-in, because I didn't know and I didn't pick that up on the first time. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get reading. I will see you when I have an update. I will try to update you around the halfway mark, and we will go from there. But until then, goodbye. I am just watching Princess's Prince, and I've been doing some reading on Lioness Rampant. I am currently 141 pages in, so I am just before halfway. And I'm liking this one a lot more than I was the previous book, Woman Who Rides Like Man. This one I feel is like more in line of what the other books in the series were. But I have to say, there's a character in here that has pissed me off. Liam, oh my god. At first we meet him like, ooh, he could be a lot of fun. He is a Shang warrior, which we have been hearing a lot about through the series. We haven't met any. He's like a love interest of sorts for Alana, but he just keeps opening his mouth, and every time he does, I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and stop talking. Stop talking to my baby. Stop opening your mouth. So it's a very much a doomed romance, and I'm kind of over it. I do think we're rapidly approaching the end, especially because his dumbass said the words to her that is just like the end of all relationships for Alana is, I forbid you to do something. Like, sir, who are you to forbid her from doing anything? And he's made her cry so many times. I don't like him. I don't like him. I'm not supposed to like him, obviously, but it's been a little frustrating because he's been a pretty prominent feature in this book. We're going after this like mystical jewel that holds a lot of power. But Lana's also been having a lot of weird dreams, just like she was at the end of the third book about Roger and also Jonathan and George. So something is obviously brewing back home. I'm thinking we're going to be approaching, or we're going to be going back home, because Alana just said like, oh, I'm gonna get this jewel, then we're going the fuck back home to see what the hell is going on, because obviously something is. We're just about to go get the jewel. She's like about to go into this snowstorm. You can't see, but Dolores just came on in. Look, you can see her tail. There she is. We're about to go into the snowstorm, probably get this jewel, and then go back home and see what things are brewing. Again, from the backup, because we learned we do know that Roger is back. I'm still thinking it had to do with Tom. Him doing shenanigans he shouldn't have been doing. Hopefully, again, we don't have to kill Tom. I will feel real bad about it, but it's not looking good for the boy. Not at all. I'm curious to see where this is going to go. It has been, I don't want to say it's been slow, but we are building towards something, and obviously not at the main plot. And I think that's dragged this book, even though I'm 141 pages in, which again, I'm almost halfway into this book, like if you see. I'm almost at the halfway point. Things are going. I'm gonna continue reading for maybe a couple more hours, see where I get. I plan to end this vlog today or tomorrow and edit and get it out on Tuesday. So that's the plan. Hopefully we can do it. Putting faith into me And I guess I'm gonna read maybe an hour or two more, maybe a couple more sprints, and then I might take a break just to give my mind a break from this, because if I push through and read when I'm not in the mood of reading, I'm just gonna end up hating it. So don't want that. I will update you more when I have more thoughts. I'll probably try to update you before I take that break to see what I'm thinking and what is going on in this book. It is currently 5:25, 5:23, like just before 5:30. And I have hit the 50% mark in this book. I am ending this off for now on page 218, so I'm this far in. I have about 140 pages left, because like 350 pages. Obviously Roger's been up to something. We are finally back in Tortle, like the capital, and we're not following Alana, who's stuck on a ship, probably miserable because she doesn't like being on ships. But we are following Jonathan, George, and just the cast and crew, like what they've been up to, what's been going on. Tom did bring back Roger. Of course he did, because he was goated. You know, every time you go to Genius, they're gonna do the thing you go them to do. But whatever, he's suffering from it. I think, and this is my theory, that Roger's stealing his magic and stealing his life force. Pretty easy guess on my part, because Tom is like really, really weak. And he's like, I don't know what's wrong with me. It's like probably because you were bringing back an evil sorcerer back to life. And everyone's saying, well, Roger doesn't have his magic, but Roger has his magic. And people have been plotting to kill Jonathan and George. I kind of guessed this, but we got confirmation that it is Raylon from the first book, the bully that Alana had to face and like was fighting against when she was like just joined the Knights. So he's back, he's trying to create havoc, and he's working with like a cast of people, which includes Delia, who was a girl from the first book that was like hitting on Jonathan and like trying to get all cozy with him. And Alex, one of Alana and Jonathan's friends, who I have no idea. They've been teasing him as this like weird force, because in book 1, he tries to kill Alana a couple of times. And it was kind of assumed that Roger was controlling him, but it's never been said like straight out. And every time we've seen him, he's just been kind of a little weird, but at the same time, he's never been like fully on Roger's side. When Alana was gonna fight that Vizier envoy person, he had said that Alana was gonna kick his ass. And then, he, like, everyone undermines what Alana can do. But he also works, like, to kill her? I don't know. I don't know what's up with him. And he's only getting more mysterious in this. Like, even Roger's like, what do you stand to get out of this? And he's like, he just smiles. You can guess. I guess that's gonna be a force. Maybe he's a big bad evil that's really secretly doing mischievous things. Or he's a god. I don't know. I don't know what's up with him. He's a weird one and a mystery that we have yet to solve. I'm assuming we're gonna get Alana back pretty soon. Actually, I think it's the next chapter. I just looked, it's called Homecoming. So I think Alana's gonna be back and we're gonna be with her again. And she's gonna get entrenched in all the bullshit that's been going on. Things have been heating up. I think one of the girls that Alana's traveling with, the former princess of whatever kingdom they were in, I think she's gonna be Jonathan's love interest. Just because they keep teasing like, oh, you're never gonna be a queen now, so oh well. I think that's who Jonathan's getting up with, because he's not ending up with our girl. We're also gonna bring the dragon with us, which I think's okay. Him and Alana officially broken up in a dumb whole little thing. Their whole relationship was doomed. And Alana knew that, but like it was never a good thing. They should have never started. Really and truly. They did nothing but like fight and disagree. So I'm excited to see how this is going to end. Things have been picking up a lot more than the first half of this. Action's more back. I like that we got to like preview what was happening in Tortle before we got there with Alana, because I think that made it more fun. We're able to dive back into more of the action. I want to know what the fuck's up with Roger, like what he's planning to do, because he wasn't a part of any of the plots and trying to kill Jonathan right off the bat. So his ass is thinking something else. And we need to figure out what that is. But that is going to have to wait. I'm going to make some dinner. I'm going to watch some Veronica Mars. And then I'm going to finish this book out tonight. This vlog might not get finished out today. I might just read the end of the book and then come at you tomorrow with the conclusions. But until then, I will see you later with my final thoughts. We'll close out this vlog. It will be done and we'll be golden. Guys, I did it. I did it. I finished it last night before midnight, so it was still in the week. But I finished Lioness Rampant, and I have to say, wow, the ending just like took off. Literally, when I think I cut off at just before Alana was coming back to Tortle. Go on, figure out what is happening in there. First off, everything I said was right. Tom was dying and did in fact die. So, a quick little summary of what happened in this. So, Alana gets back. And she's like, what's been going on, everyone? To which everyone's been saying, shit's been going down. George is constantly being attacked. Jonathan's been almost killed. They found out that Claw is again Raylan, whatever his name is from book 1. He's behind it trying to kill Jonathan. And we don't know what's up with Roger. We're all suspicious of him. Cool. And Alana's like, great. And she goes around. She's like, ooh, like kind of awkward having all my love interests around, but whatever. She meets Roger. Roger's like evil, obviously, and they're like, cool, I don't have to pretend to like you. You're still evil. You're still up to something. She meets her brother and notices that he is, in fact, dying. And she's like, why has no one done anything about it? Does anyone else know he's dying? What's going on with that? And then we kind of pitter-patter around. Jonathan starts crushing mad on, God, what's her name? All I know is everyone's like, oh my God, she's so beautiful. Like, every time we meet her, like, that's just like the marker of her, which I think is the least interesting thing about this princess. God, where is her name? She like pops up several times. Fayette. So we're seeing the kind of development of Fayette's relationship with Jonathan. We are seeing Alana kind of like struggling to figure out like, who does she want to be? She ends up being named Jonathan's champion. And essentially the role that she'll play is that she'll still be able to travel, but she'll be there like when he needs like someone around. So Jonathan's getting crowned, all that's happening. And then of course like the coup like reaches its peak and Roger's trying to open a gate to another world, which is gonna tear this world apart. I don't know, that one wasn't very explained well. Everyone decides to like go rampant. When I tell you, we lose so many characters so fast in the ending portion. Like Tom dies, Faithful dies in like a flash and then he's gone, which I think was fucked up. Like, I expected Tom to die, right? I expected his ass to die. But Faithful and to be gone that quick was not okay. Was so mad. I literally sat up like, they killed the fucking cat. Liam dies. Off screen, we see his dead body at the end and we get like a letter from him in the epilogue. That was kind of odd. I thought we were gonna lose Coram for a hot second, but I think Tamora Pierce decided to like grant us mercy after she killed Tom and Faithful and Liam. The ending was wild. I have my issues with it. I did like this a lot more than the last book, just because I felt like the last book was really out of place in the series. Like, it slows the pacing down a lot more than any of the other books, even in this one. We're really kind of like entrenched in a new tribe, which is fine and can be interesting, but it didn't feel like it added too much to the narrative. It kind of felt like an in-between transitional novel. And this one, my problem with it is that because most of this book is focused on getting the Dominion Jewel, we don't get a lot of time for the political intrigue, which is where I feel like the most interesting things in this novel happen. Gives me a lot of issues because like Alex, how we're hyping him up to be this like weird secretive villain, his whole thing was, oh, I just wanted to win. I'm obsessed with winning and I want to be the best. I want to prove that I'm the best. He had so many chances just to like fight and spar her, not in a situation where he's committing murder and a coup, but you know, whatever, sure, fine, okay. It was a dumb reason, and not because I think that isn't enough to like make someone go evil. I think it's a dumb reason because we've hyped it up so much that it felt flat. So what I would have done and what I would have liked to have seen is that the first half of this book focusing on the Dominion Jewel actually gets folded into this one, the third book, because then we could shorten the events of like what's happening in the tribe and pair it with the Dominion Jewel, which are still very much connected to each other. But then we could have lengthened the time we're in Tortle. We could have spent more time with the other characters and seen the political intrigue, kind of done a little bit of like a duel, like, because we do start a little bit with what's happening in Tortle from the other perspectives before Alana gets back. We could have had that maybe be the first half of the book and then Alana getting back, or some kind of combination of like flipping back and forth, whatever. But it just made the ending feel really rushed, and I was sad about it, especially because the epilogue was spent wrapping up more ties than it was like giving me those like final closing moments. Like, I would have liked to see a little bit of Alana and George's relationship We do get a proposal at the very end and that she's gonna have kids. I would have liked to have seen that gradually developed because I feel like we just didn't get enough of George to make me like really, really sink into that relationship. Like, I like him. I think they do have a lot of strong ties, more of any of her romantic interests, but the relationship didn't feel as firm to me because we didn't get to see too much of it. We saw a lot of her relationship with Jonathan. We saw quite a bit of her relationship with Liam, but we barely got to see any of her like actual romantic relationship with George. We saw a small little brief moment of it in the third book, but not really a ton here. And I feel like that just is missing to like really establish that ending, to make me feel for that conclusion. It is what it is. I'm still giving it like a 3.5 stars, which is pretty consistent with the series. But having finished that book, guys, we have finished the entirety of the Song of the Lioness quartet by Tamora Pierce. And my God, what a journey it was. It took a week to do this. I'm currently filming this ending segment on Monday. I actually gotta go to work in a little bit, so I gotta get on that. But I wanted to come out and close this vlog. We did it. It was fun. I hope you enjoyed it. But like I said, I gotta go. So if you like this video, please consider leaving a thumbs up and a comment down below. Let me know if you've read the Song of the Lioness Quartet or if you read anything by Tamora Pierce. What are your thoughts? Did you feel the same way as me for some of these books? Or if you've never read them, first off, I'm glad you enjoyed a spoiler-free vlog. But what did you think of the story? What did you think of everything I shared with you? But like I said, that's gonna be it for me. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!